When I say that Donald Trump is a felon, a fraud, and a sexual abuser, it's because he's those things. He's also a bankrupter. He's a destroyer, not a builder. And so when you see Donald Trump make a post like he did last night, saying that great progress was made in the trade talks with China, we're going to do a total reset in our economic relations with China, this is going to be great. Trump is a con artist. Now, look, I hope that our economy can do great. But Trump, you wrecked it. You declared a trade war against the world. You have been saying that tariffs are the greatest thing ever. Then why are you negotiating to remove the tariffs? If you're saying the tariffs are the greatest thing ever, you have your Treasury Secretary saying this is all part of this is a direct quote, crazy Ivan strategy, where Donald Trump injects strategic uncertainty into the markets, and then we try to make deals in periods of strategic uncertainty, which is it's just Donald Trump waking up, posting deranged and demented things and screwing over Main Street and then manipulating the markets and helping his billionaire and oligarch friends while we, the people, don't even know if our small businesses and medium-sized businesses are going to be able to survive because we don't get the special exemptions that, Apple and all of Donald and Bezos and all of these people get. So here's what Donald Trump posted last night after the first day of discussion between China and the United States over Donald Trump's trade war against China and the world. America has 145% tariffs against China. China has similar tariffs against the United States. There's an effective trade embargo. Shipments are not coming into our ports anymore. We're about to run out of goods and products that are not going to be on these shelves. And so here's what Donald Trump posts. He goes, a very good meeting today with China and Switzerland. Many things discussed, much agreed to. A total reset negotiated in a friendly but constructive manner. We want to see, for the good of both China and the U.S., an opening up of China to American business. Great progress made, exclamation point. It's almost like the arsonist showing up at the scene of the fire and basically saying, look, I'm going to try to put this all out. Let me be the hero. A total reset of the fire that was created. You made the mess. And then when Donald Trump uses language like a total reset negotiated, and again, Donald, aren't you saying that tariffs are the greatest things? So if tariffs are the greatest thing in the world and we're getting super rich with 145% tariffs on China, and as you said in press conference after press conference, you think it's a great thing that ships aren't coming into our ports, then why are you trying to negotiate deals that are going to remove the tariffs and reset that? Shouldn't you be celebrating how rich we are? No, because it's all a scam. It's all a fraud. It's to help Donald Trump's rich billionaire oligarch friends. And all we should be talking about, whether you're a Democrat or whatever, as human beings, what we should be talking about is allowing people who work hard to live in a freaking home, to allow people who work hard to just have one job and get wages where they are paid with dignity and they're not living paycheck to paycheck, where they can have health care, where they can have a good education, where they're not going to be disrespected and defamed by oligarchs like Elon Musk, who says that I'm firing you because you're not doing a good job for performance reasons when you are working your ass off. I want to make sure we're protecting our veterans who sacrifice for our country, not firing them and treating them like crap. And I don't want to ever see people punch down at marginalized communities and gut essential services that help and keep people alive. I can tell a myriad of stories of what the Trump regime is doing. I could give you one example where they're eliminating research in Cornell that is aimed to help babies who have heart disease, right out the womb. And this could save their lives. They're like destroying programs like that. I can tell you how the Trump regime is getting rid of $2 billion in mental health programs at schools, when the MAGA Republicans blame all these school shootings in the United States on mental health issues. I could tell you about how the Trump regime wants to eliminate all Section 8 housing. They're getting rid of, $25 billion from HUD, and what's going to make the homeless problem here worse. And you're just great progress, total reset. You created the problem, you freaking fraud. You felon, you sexual abuser, you created the problem. And his words are so cheap, other than to manipulate the markets for his oligarch friend. Remember earlier in the day yesterday, when he said, after a long night of talks mediated by the United States, I'm pleased to announce that India and Pakistan have agreed to a full and immediate ceasefire. And then moments later, they started attacking each other again. And then people said the United States had nothing to do with this. And now you have Pakistan, again, looking into their nuclear committees meeting. You have, things are escalating. And so, the talk is cheap. The talk is usually fraud from this guy. But they move the markets. They make things volatile. And even if you remove the tariffs, what? Now corporate media is supposed to praise you and say, oh, this is such a brilliant deal he did. You caused the problem. What are we even talking about here, folks? I want you to take a look at this here as well, just so you see how cheap his words are. He posts this, 99% approval is what he's saying his approval rating is. And what he's citing is a CPAC, one of these right-wing convention polls right here. And then you take a look at the y-axis where it says that he has a 99% approval. The y-axis goes up to 120%. So I don't know. I think someone said this. I don't know what's more comical here. Him saying his approval rating is greater than Kim Jong-un's in North Korea, or that the y-axis goes to 120%. And just to see the other things that Donald Trump is posting, he's posting attacks on New York Attorney General Letitia James, from hashtag #MeTooCrusader to cover up Letitia James' silence. Attacking her. Let's go into what the actual facts are to see who actually has the cards in these negotiations between China and the U.S. China saw the U.S. tariffs coming, as Robin Brooks writes. China's trade surplus with the U.S. collapsed in April 2025, but its surplus with other countries began rising in January 2025, which more than offsets the fall. U.S. tariffs trapped a wall of goods in China that need to get out. Those goods are definitely getting out to other places, just not getting out to the United States of America. And we were seeing how close we came to having no goods on the shelves. So we'll keep you posted on what's going on with these negotiations, but that's where we're at right now. You also have Donald Trump posting things like this. Today, I signed an executive order to launch the first ever self-deportation program. Illegal aliens who stay in America face punishments, including sudden deportation in a place and manner solely of our discretion. And he puts this in caps. To all illegal aliens, book your free flight right now. Let me be very clear. The statement is unlawful for a variety of reasons. When he says, including sudden deportation in a place and manner solely in our discretion, that's Donald Trump saying basically that he wants to suspend habeas corpus, that there's no due process. If they want to send you to Libya, they'll send you to Libya. If they want to send you to concentration camps in El Salvador, they'll send you to concentration camps in El Salvador. And by the way, to all the Venezuelans for Trump and Cubans for Trump and Latinos for Trump, I thought you said that he was just going to be going after the criminals, because it seems here what he's saying is once he revokes your temporary protected status, which he's trying to do, he'll send you wherever the hell he wants to send you, and unless you self-deport yourself. Now, I also want to talk about the incongruity of news that the right wing's getting, the left wing's getting, because I think this goes to a key point right here. So right now, there's something called the Canadian Snowbird Act, which has been proposed in the U.S. Congress. It's actually one of the few things that are being proposed on a bipartisan basis, and it's Congress, both Congress members and senators, trying to reach out to Canadians in order to get Canadians to stay in the United States longer. We know Canadians have gone elbows up. They're not traveling to the United States anymore, and they're not buying, by and large, lots of American products. But on a bipartisan basis, people realize that Donald Trump's attack on Canada is not a good thing. But of course, they don't want you to know this on right-wing media. So there's not a single right-wing media that's reported on that, which I think is an interesting data point as well. I'll show you what right-wing media is reporting on in a second, but it's essential for me to get my research right. And one of the tools that I use is something called ground news. It's essential nowadays to see through any double standards in the current media ecosphere. Here's what I want you to do. Go to ground.news/MTN or scan the QR code. We're giving our viewers 40% off Ground News' top tier Vantage plan, which I use to do the research I'm doing right now. And it'll get you unlimited access to everything I use and more. Ground News is subscriber funded, so they don't rely on ads that could also introduce bias. Subscribing supports our channel and their independent team working to keep the media transparent. So go to ground.news/MTN or scan the QR code and get that 40% off Ground News' top tier Vantage plan. And what I use there is a feature called Blind Spot, where I find what are they not talking about in the right-wing ecosphere. Now let's talk about what these MAGA Republicans are actually talking about on their right-wing echo chambers. They have all these like MAGA Republican media people and members of Congress who keep on going to the concentration camps in El Salvador, which, by the way, it's a violation of the Geneva Convention to parade yourself in front of a group of prisoners like that in order to use them as props. But here you have Matt Gaetz and MAGA Republican Congress member Andy Ogles right there. As our editor-in-chief Ron Filipkowski calls it, is this like MAGA porn hour? Like, what the hell are they even doing there? And then you have Matt Gaetz bragging about the OAN exclusive first look. And he goes, of Tren de Aragua members in El Salvador CCOT prison. Look, at the end of the day, there's something called due process in the United States. You go through the process. If someone's involved in a crime, there's ramifications for the crimes. It's just that simple. If you don't believe in due process, then you don't believe in the United States system. That's what this is all about. It should not even be a debate that is taking place. Another fact about OAN as well, one of the things that the Trump regime wants to do is to use the OAN feed as part of the international broadcasts that Kerry Lake wants to show to all of these other nations. Take a look at what Trump's also been posting as well, attacking wind energy, how the global wind power industry is losing steam. On January 20th, Trump's first day in office, he wasted no time delivering a death knell to the offshore wind industry. And again, why would you be celebrating giving a death knell to offshore wind industry or wind in general, which is supplying power to lots of places in America, creating lots of jobs. It's good energy. But Donald Trump has this bizarre and weird hatred for windmills, going back to his experience in Scotland when he was building a golf course and didn't like the windmills near his golf course. I mean, that's what this all kind of traces to, his own psychosis right here. Last thing I want to point out as well, just so you see what the regime is actually focused on. The Pentagon, Department of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is focused on moving as many as 1,000 openly identifying transgender service members out of the military. So any transgender people who were sacrificing their lives to fight for our country, they're getting fired right now. And if you don't self-report yourself as a transgender person in the next 30 days, there's other penalties for that. So, and also you have Hegseth purging anything relating to diversity, equity, and inclusion, ordering all military leaders, commands, and academies to review all books and get rid of them if they include anything that addresses racism or sexism. So that's the status right now of the Trump regime. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 5 million subscribers, and thanks for watching.
New Meidas merch drop! Check out the latest pro-democracy sticker packs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, and more. All at store.MeidasTouch.com.